Probably I'm not one of the most talented players tennis-wise, but I believe that I have other capabilities, like my work ethic and everything. You can be an amazing tennis player, but if you haven't taken care of yourself, then you're done with tennis and you are left with nothing.
Welcome to Tennis Insider Club. I am Borja Duran, and together with my partner, Caroline Garcia, here is where tennis stories and life conversations intersect. Join us as we uncover the untold personal journeys of the icons of the court. From laughter to life lessons, it's all here.
Thank you so much, Maria, for being with us in the podcast. We were looking forward to it.
Same.
And we would like to know, how did your story with tennis started?
That's interesting, actually, because obviously, I don't know if you guys know, my mom used to play. My grandfather also used to play. So the family tradition goes back many years. So my grandfather was my mom's coach. Then my mom obviously did not coach me. But I started playing with my grandfather when I was 6, 7. And yeah, apparently I had some kind of talent. But I was that's what people say. But I have to say that I was very athletic. Like any sport I would do, I would be like the best. So I think I like tennis because I was very competitive. And as we know, tennis, if you're not competitive, you're done. So yeah, decided when I was 11 years old that I want to start playing tournaments. So I started playing national tournaments. I was good, like I was number 1, but I wasn't so good in like compared to the players abroad, like the Italians, the French, the English, because, I think they were a step further. And as I was going to a normal school, like I wasn't going to a homeschool or anything, my time for practice was limited. Which, looking back, it was the right thing to do because I feel like I got the right education. I grew up in a healthy environment with friends, with family. I didn't have to leave home in a very young age. So I'm very grateful for that. And then I started playing a few tournaments abroad, like under 12s. I played the one in France, Auray. I think I lost to someone very easily, maybe 1-1 or something.
Yeah. I was not very successful in that category either.
Same in Le Petit As. I was so excited to be there, but I just was so far away from all the other players, level-wise. So I just kept going. I kept being in a normal school until I was 16. And then I told my parents, okay, let's try and push it a little bit more.
So your parents were not putting pressure on you to become a tennis player?
No, not really. I think they wanted me to get that good education, which I think we need in life. And I'm just very grateful for that they pushed me to go that direction and not be like, okay, now we see you have a kind of a talent, so we'll take you out of school and we'll risk everything. So yeah, long story short, then 16 years old, I started playing also futures. I didn't play so many juniors, like ITFs. I was like 250, maybe ITF. And I had a WT point back then. So then I started playing more futures and I ended up being maybe 600-700. So took it from there. And 18 years old, I just moved to Barcelona.
Why was that?
Because I think in Greece, things are not great. Like even today, the level of coaches, the level of practice, the level of the mentality and everything, it doesn't suit.
Cannot push you to improve at one point.
No, it's not like in other countries where you guys have your federation. Whether it's good or bad, the work, that's a different thing.
There's a lot of players. There is
there's energy. Like in Greece, like you have to do everything on your own. Like if you don't have your parents like supporting you, which I was very lucky, to come from a family which we didn't depend on me becoming a tennis player. You cannot make it. There's no way. Like unless you have a sponsor that is gonna maybe sponsor you 80,000 a year, because more or less when you try to play, that's how much you need starting your career. So yeah, luckily I had my parents support me, and then I said, okay, I'll go to Barcelona because I know that people work hard there. There's a lot of players.
That's the first time I
No, like tennis. No, in tennis, that's what they're known for. Okay, like everyone likes to work, and I don't know, but I'm not gonna go into that direction. So then I just said okay, and then it was a great move because I lived on my own. I started spending time by myself, which was amazing. I mean, you know it really well how important it is to discover things and do things on your own. And looking back, if I was to go back in time, I would do the same thing because I loved it there.
Did it scare you the possibility of maybe failing or not becoming a pro?
Yeah, well, look, I told my parents at 18 that I'm going to give 2 years to myself and see if I can make it or not. And then 2 years later, I was playing Grand Slam qualies and I would call it like I qualified. So then I said, okay, I'm not going to go to the university.
Yes.
So then I just kept going, worked hard. I have to say that probably I'm not one of the most talented players tennis-wise, but I believe that I have other capabilities, like my work ethic and everything. So that I think is something that got me here. And yes, that was the reason why I moved to Barcelona.
Okay.
And I think that it was a very important move because I couldn't have made it if I stayed in Greece.
Of course.
Yeah.
And why your mother never coached you?
Yeah, because I think she wanted to be my mother. She didn't want to be. Obviously, there were times when I was growing up that she would like tell me things.
Yeah, but she had helped you.
Yes.
Or she still sometimes.
Yes, but when you're young, I think you don't really accept that help because you're like a rebel. You think everything. So you don't appreciate the knowledge of having someone in the family that actually knows tennis and actually has been there and has done this whole thing. So I think that our relationship is very healthy because she's my mom above everything. And then obviously sometimes she will like talk to me and tell me things that she sees from the outside, but never like interfering in what I'm doing because I've invested a lot of money in hiring different coaches all these years. So she respects that because otherwise I could have
conflict.
and I could hire her instead of hiring someone else.
Yeah, you kept a healthy relation and distance.
Being a mother is already like the most complicated
Yes.
job you can have.
That's what people say.
That's nice.
No, it is nice. And I'm very grateful that I have one of my parents actually has been there and has done it. Obviously in a different level because back then they would play 12 tournaments a year. No, it was not as crazy. Like the traveling wasn't as crazy as it is now, but it was also tougher because they didn't have technology. Like booking tickets wasn't as easy as it is now.
Even entering tournament, it was by fax.
Yeah, by fax or whatever. And I think
Not sure we can send fax now.
No, before fax, I think, because probably before fax. So, yeah. That's my story, and the rest is history. History ongoing. History ongoing.
It worked out.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
so it was the right call.
No, of course.
And how was this change from tennis being a hobby to start
Yes.
to become your profession and the pressure to deliver, get results? Did it get you, or it was kind of natural and easy?
No, it wasn't easy. I think there is no person that is gonna sit here and tells you that it was easy. Everybody for different reasons. Like maybe someone would have the pressure of I need to make money for my family, or it's a survival, or I have to, I don't know, make my country proud. Personally, to me, like I got a lot of hate when I grew up because of who my mom was, and they would say, the daughter of my mom. Like,
for that. You got it for free.
yes, I got it for free.
Only in Greece or also
No,
abroad?
in Greece, like
okay.
in the junior tournaments and that. I think it was in my subconscious all these years, and I just felt the pressure of I have to prove that I can do it on my own, and it's not because of who my mom was, because obviously she was 43 in the world, but in Greece she was very big because tennis back then didn't really exist other than my mom and then Lido. I don't know if you remember her. So yeah, I think that was the pressure that I had on my shoulders just to show everyone that I'm capable of doing it on myself. And I proved a lot of people wrong because a lot of people were saying that she's not good enough to become a tennis player. And then when I got to number 3, I was like, I really hope I can shut all their mouths. That's how I felt.
It was not an easy process because it was not a 1 or 2 years journey. No, it was like way longer than that.
Yeah, because I mean, you have players that they make it when they're 18. Like when I was 18, I was like 800, 900, I don't know what. Like that's the reality that everyone has a different journey, and people can easily judge from sitting on a chair or sitting on a computer. Like we all know really well that.
Especially those who didn't make it, no? Because
No,
when you
of
make it,
course.
you never judge that much, no? But then from social media or stuff, it's
Yes.
easy to say, oh, what a loser.
Yeah, and not only people that tried and they didn't make it, people that have
Never tried.
never tried. And you see a lot of players that were actually very, very good when they were young and then they never made it. So
Why do you think like junior people who maybe are ranked number 1 or number 2, at the end they never make it to good pros?
well, I think that some people get spoiled in a very young age. Like when you have like a federation or someone behind you that is always, you take things for granted. And then you have to remember that you go from a very good junior to like playing Grand Slams and having everything to having to go back to futures, like having to go to Sharm el Sheikh, Antalya.
Tough tournaments.
Like
And also losing more, no? Because you enter like the real tour, so
Yes.
you start losing first rounds, which maybe never happened before in your whole life.
Also, sometimes there is also like there is some junior or very big, very young,
Mhm.
and then you have other ones who are actually as good, but they are just
Yeah.
tinier at this age
Yeah.
and they get stronger.
Yeah.
So it's more mixed.
No, it's every time it's a different case. But truth is that when you enter that futures era, like people are gonna eat you alive. Everyone's there to fight, and it's no one's gonna come on the court and be like, okay, here you go. I think that's how I felt it. Like for me, it wasn't like the level back then. It was good. When I did you play a lot of futures?
I didn't play a lot of 10K.
Yeah.
I play more 25.
Okay.
And I mean, being French, I had the chance also
Yeah.
to get some wildcard in like 25 and 50K and 100. And yeah, I made my way to 150, okay. And then I was more struggling
Yeah.
to 150 in the world. So I didn't have so much this experience, and I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, no, but you see, you took it the right way. Like someone else, maybe in your position, could have been okay. Like it could be spoiled, like because of all the privileges of being from a country that has a lot of support and a lot of money and a lot of opportunities to provide you with wildcards and tournaments.
The feeling I had every time I had a wildcard is like I want to capitalize on
Yeah.
it because I don't want to have wildcard forever.
Yeah,
And I mean, I will always remember in Wimbledon when I qualified for main draw by myself.
yeah.
I was so happy. and so
Proudest
proud.
moment of your
Yeah,
life,
It
right?
was so good.
Yeah.
It was the best feeling. I mean, you did it, but going through qualis in Slam, it's like a huge achievement.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I mean, obviously, it's good.
Where was the first time you qualified?
US Open 2015. I was 20 years old. So
Okay.
yeah, so you can imagine, like I wasn't very young. Obviously, I wasn't old. 20, you're not old. But I remember I beat first round Sevastova, second round Mestat. You remember?
Yeah, it's same
Same,
year as
yeah.
me, and she was number 1.
And
junior.
Sophie, yeah, she was number 1 junior. And then third round Martic.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then I lost to, I was gonna say Qin Wen Zheng, but it wasn't her. Q Wang.
Yes, of
Q
course.
Wang, yes. So I lost to her first round, and then I qualified for Australia, and then I lost qualies at the French, and then I qualified for Wimbledon, and that was it. I think I was main draw in 2016 US Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling at that moment? Once you are like, okay, I made it,
Yeah.
and now I want more, I guess. No, I don't want to settle with main draw. I want to go to, I don't know, top 50, top 10.
I think that was the toughest. I think actually, if you ask any player, their ultimate goal when they started a career, it's top 100. Like top 100 for them,
It's you made
it's the biggest step you can make in your career, and then you start seeing for more.
Yeah.
But to me, it seemed something incredible being in the top 100. So then I was a little bit struggling for maybe a year and a half to get to under 60 maybe. But then I left Barcelona in 2017. I think it was around May after French Open, and then I got in the top 50. I think end of that year, so it was pretty good, I have to say. But I think back then I was enjoying it so much that not that I'm not enjoying it now, but
But there was less pressure.
less pressure because you could always go for more.
You can win at this time in the
Yes.
ranking way easier.
And also you didn't have like, how can I say it, like the pressure of being the best or one of the best on the tour. And
There's no eyes on you.
No, there
if
wasn't
you're top
eyes on you.
50, you're allowed to
Yeah.
lose against 49 girls.
Yes, of course.
If you're top 10, your chance of
Yes. I mean, you've been there, you've done it many times, so you know how it feels. But no, I have to say that I've really enjoyed all this journey. And if there's one thing that I don't want to regret, because lately I haven't been doing so well in the slams, it's that I don't want to look back after my career and be like, God, like I've wasted and not enjoyed 4 or 5 slams, because that's the reality. Like up until today, I've only won one Grand Slam match the last year, and that was my biggest concern after I lost the French Open this year. Like I don't want to look back in 3-4 years time once I'm done and say that, God, I've wasted 4 or 5 Grand Slams.
Yeah, but you did also some very good results
No,
in
no.
slams.
Of course, like I'm not saying that I have to go very deep. I just want to be feeling that I've done everything I could, and yeah, the result is relevant at the end.
Yeah. And how do you handle with this? Because at the end in tennis, you lose pretty much every week.
Every week, yeah.
Does it get any easier with years?
I don't know, because whenever you lose, depends on the loss. Exactly. Also, it's if you lose 7-6 on the third, God, you're pissed.
So you can take it. Yeah.
But then after a while, you take it. Like, okay, I was very sad when I lost first round this year at the French. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I have 2.5 weeks just to do stuff for myself, and which I haven't done in a long time, maybe since off season. And so I saw my friends, I saw my family. I just took some time off, not being stressed. Like I slept in my own bed for 2.5 weeks. I ate homemade food, which we never get to eat. So I feel like if you find the positives in those situations, I think that's how you can improve and get over it for the next time.
And was it kind of the first time you went through a loss in slam and took it as positive as this time?
Yeah, by far. Like the last few times, I was just very, very down on myself and very sad. So I think it also helped that it was in Europe, because I was just a flight away from home.
2 hours after
Yes.
you were back home
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
One day.
still, sometimes there's days where
No, of course. But I feel like when you go home, it's easier to forget and just leave it behind. Not that you don't check the other scores and you're pissed seeing other people win. That's normal.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah. Like you're like, why I'm not there? But
Yeah.
I think you have more distractions,
Yeah.
because you can do stuff and get away from it. But at the same time, you're like, God, I would prefer to be there and just, but that's life, right?
Is it something that you try to work, finding balance and not putting maybe all your happiness on your tennis results? Because I think that's something pretty common on tour.
Lately, I've been doing that. Lately, I've been more concerned about the Maria as a person than more as the Maria as a tennis player. I think when you're young and when you're just focused so much into your tennis, that's all you care. But then once you get older, and I'm not saying I'm gonna quit anytime soon, but I know I'm not gonna play tennis. Sorry, I'm not gonna play tennis for 10 more years. Hopefully. Imagine me. No, there's no way. I think every player has an expiry date in their mind. So for me, now that I can see that at some point my career is gonna end, I just want to take care more of myself than my tennis career, because I feel like, okay, you can be an amazing tennis player, but if you haven't taken care of yourself, then you're done with tennis and you're left with nothing.
Yeah, you have to keep building your own personality and identity outside of
course,
being tennis player.
Probably not only for after tennis, but probably can help you also throughout your career, no? To have like hobbies and good relationships. No, if after a tough loss you can have a good 2 weeks, probably it helps you to go back to tennis in a good spirit.
Exactly, yeah.
Then if you're like 2 weeks destroyed, just criticizing, it's complicated to go back to training and believe in your chances.
No, I agree with you, and I think what you said about relationships, I think it's very important to also, yes, tennis is very competitive, but at the same time, why you cannot have friends off the court? Like, why I cannot go for a coffee with Caro and just catch up about random things? Like, okay, when we go on the court, of course she wants to beat me, and of course I want to beat her, but because this is our job, at the same time, like, why after our tennis career we cannot be good friends and keep in touch and just be two normal people? No? We see that I mean, we don't see it much, but I think that's how it
Actually,
should be.
when we were starting the podcast, one of our main concerns, if the podcast was viable, is that she wasn't sure if players would be willing to sit down with her.
Yeah, at
talk
first she
about-
told me that we were gonna do it, and I'm like, listen, I like Borja, but I'm friends with you. Like, it's not like no, don't get it the wrong way.
You
but
know,
it's,
I mean, I was
yeah,
I was agreeing completely with
Yeah.
her, but she was like, no, I don't think players will be happy to say,
I think it depends on the player.
you're not going to lose a match because you have a conversation.
I just like want players to feel comfortable, and sometimes you feel like competitiveness is like so strong
Yeah,
sometimes.
no,
that-
it is, but at the same time,
Do you think this is something that is changing in a good way, or it's still like complicated?
I mean, I think from what I heard from before, the girls wouldn't talk to each other. Like
Mhm.
when you were like starting and you were top 5 back in 20. When did you?
I was
17, right?
17, yeah.
Yeah. So
But when I arrived, Sharapova
Yeah.
and was
that
to the-
era, I'm saying,
Yes,
they were not.
was colder era.
I feel like now we talk more to each other than before, from what I hear, and which I think is normal because we travel so much. We see all the faces every week. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, what, you're gonna be rude to them and not talk to them? Come on, this is like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's tough, but
Mm.
no, but I completely agree with you,
Yeah.
and I think our tour and the new generation, our generation and the new generation, it's like more and more friendly.
Mhm.
And it's true that maybe in the past, like also sometimes it's to protect themselves, but they kind
for
of put
sure.
a mask on and they kind of were a bit colder
Yeah.
between each other, but also maybe for protecting our themselves. And okay, it's a job. I want to be like this.
Yeah.
I don't want to
No,
make
I
friends
agree
there.
with you.
But now it's everything is opening more, and I think it's way nicer to make relation,
Yeah.
to have good friendship, and makes it also more healthy on the long term because
No, for
like
sure.
it's very long season, so I think it's important.
Like my mom has friends from when she played on the tour. Like she's good friends with Kalinskaya's coach.
Okay.
Like they see each other maybe 30 years later or 25 years later, and they have a good relationship. I mean, okay, I don't think I'm gonna coach in the future, but what if I don't know, you guys live in Barcelona in the future, and then in 10 years time I come there as holidays, and
we will
why,
invite you.
why we cannot go on like a dinner? I think it will be nice.
It's I mean, I think it's nice, and it's also what is the purpose of those kind of
Mhm.
very high level sports,
Yeah.
and where we can have the chance to have good relation. We are so far from all our families.
Yeah.
So.
Looks like there's other sports, not like Formula One, where they have like a better balance. They seem to
Yes.
spend more like off time together.
Yes.
Yeah, complicated for some reason here.
Earlier you mentioned that as a kid you were very athletic
Yeah.
and you were good at a lot of sports.
Yes.
And I mean, now it's one of your main strengths,
Mhm.
obviously, your fitness level, capacity of covering the court. It's something you are working a lot on, you're relying a lot on about it, or it's just like natural and you like to work on it?
I think that obviously I have a natural talent in that. And I think when I started with my fitness coach, which is the same guy I have now, 14 years later, he said, I've never seen an athlete that strong. And he's been with Olympic athletes of track and field. Like, I had a lot of power and have natural power. And I think that's my biggest gift and my biggest strength. But, you know, I love going to the gym. Like, it's my my favorite hobby. Like, if I don't go to the gym one day, I just don't feel good with myself. And I feel like it's something I want to develop, obviously, more for my tennis. But I'm sure that once I say I'm done with tennis, the next day I'll be in the gym. Like, that's how much I like.
Yeah, you like to do
Yeah,
sport, you're
yeah.
an active person, and
Like, I cannot see myself like sitting in a sofa doing nothing. Not that I don't do it
you're joining
sometimes.
the
No,
club
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. No, like, of course
What's
I
going
need.
to be the Maria after tennis? What is she going to be doing? Do you have any clues or not yet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you my little secret, which is not gonna be a secret anymore. So my dad is from Sparta, and there we have a lot of olive trees. So my dad has been very active on buying land with olive trees the last few years, and it's something I want to do in the future. Like, it's a very premium product nowadays. I think that it's in Spain is the
So
same.
It's also a strong
Yeah.
country,
So it's something I want to do, but that's not the only thing, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's something I like. I would like to do, create my own olive oil.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
So in 10 years from now, lads, we
Yeah.
can do it in Sparta with a good olive oil.
I can bring you some. I have to bring to Ons. She brought me her Tunisian olive oil because she believes that Tunisian olive oil is better than Greek.
Okay, I didn't know that one.
I didn't even know Tunisia had olive oil. Like, she's gonna hate me after this, but it's fine. So I'll have to bring her, and next time I bring her, I will guys bring you as well.
All right,
Okay.
Yeah.
deal.
Sounds like a deal, yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's one of the things I want to do, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I want to do anything in tennis. We'll see.
It's already intense enough, the tennis career, no?
Yes. I think that not coaching for sure. I don't think I'm a good coach.
Mhm.
Maybe a tournament director. I can see myself doing that because I have so many complaints now in tournaments that I would like to. Yeah. But we'll see. Have you thought about what you want to do?
I would like to keep doing the podcast, obviously,
Okay.
and going outside of tennis
Oh, that's good.
because I really, and we both really
Maybe become like Jay Seti in
Yes.
female version.
Yeah, there is so many great podcasts
Yeah.
out there, but I'm learning a lot doing it
Yeah.
from the different guests we had so far. So I would like to do this. And we are a big fan of ice cream. So,
Oh, that's good.
so maybe
I'm
who
gonna-
knows, because we are big fans, so we are trying to find good shops in every tournament.
Okay.
Sometimes
Have you
it's
found anything here?
No,
No.
here no.
Why
So
not?
sometimes I don't know.
We didn't check. We didn't have
I
too
mean,
much
we
time.
checked, but we didn't like
Yeah.
what we found.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, maybe an ice cream shop. Who knows?
That's amazing. In where?
I mean, we will have to start somewhere, so probably in Spain, but
Yeah.
who knows where it can be.
That's
because-
amazing.
So for next dinner, we're bringing dessert.
I can help you. I can help you with my connections for you guys to open one in Greece
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the future.
But you don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, I like a lot tennis,
Yeah.
but
Can you see yourself like doing TV and stuff?
maybe once in a while, but I don't see it full
Okay.
time.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
I think we can go back to tennis for a while. Yeah. You have accomplished already a lot, no? Many years in the top 10 to be one of the best by far. What keeps you driving to keep going? Do you have like a specific goal in mind, or it's just to be the best version of yourself?
Well, I think every tennis player wants to win a Grand Slam, at least one. It might not never happen, but if you don't try and if you don't like really try for it, then it's never gonna happen. So, I mean, I want to give it all and give the best chance on myself. And obviously, I got to number 3, but I would like to beat that record. Whether it's possible or not, nobody knows.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try. But above everything, I want to be happy doing this, and I keep telling that myself so I can do it more and more. And actually, you're a great example because sometimes I see you, and no matter if you win or lose, of course you will get pissed. But I feel like you're satisfied and you're more okay losing. Let's say you're more like, I don't know. You're a very good example, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
All right.
No,
yeah.
like you seem more in peace. That's the
I
word.
think the change she did
Yeah,
in the
lately
last
I
year
thought-
was
Yes.
crazy. Because, I mean, 1 year ago, after one every loss, it was very complicated.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do believe you have to work hard, and I do believe on court you need to be willing almost to die to win.
Of
But once
course.
the match is over, it's not that you're gonna get any better just because you want to hurt yourself
Yeah.
or like you talk about cheat about yourself for 2 days. I think once you lose, you have to move on
Yeah.
and go back to practice the day after, but take it lightly.
But yeah, look, I mean, going back to what you asked me, yeah, that's the goal I'm gonna work for. And otherwise, I feel like if you don't have a goal like you want to achieve, then what's the point of just
Sure.
play just to play and play for the money? Like, no, I'd rather do something else, you
Yeah.
know? So we'll see.
You talk about happiness. Is it complicated to find happiness like with this crazy lifestyle? Because
Yeah.
tennis is good in many ways, but it's also at the end 95% of the time abroad, not seeing
Yeah.
family, friends, relationships. Is it like an issue for you?
I think that my ranking has allowed me the last couple of years to have a more stable schedule, even though last year from Washington, like in July, I did 11 weeks in a row, which is not a very good thing it's not a very clever thing of when you are that high in the ranking. But I feel like you can have more breaks in between, like you're not chasing for points and you're not chasing for something if you have a more stable ranking, let's say. But of course, I miss moments with family, I miss moments with my boyfriend. Like, I wish I could see them more. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not gonna be doing that for all my life. Like I can go skiing once I'm done with tennis. I can go on holidays once I'm done with tennis. Like
You still have energy and to keep going.
yes, like that's how I get motivation. That everything is gonna be there once we're done. Like the islands of Greece are not gonna disappear in the next 3-4 years. Like I can do that later. That's how I see it, and that's why I think I'm in peace with myself with what I do right now. Obviously, if I feel like I'm under pressure and I don't want to go in one tournament, then I might not go and not force
You don't
myself.
feel guilty about it. If you feel like stressed or you have anxiety about a tournament, you feel like you skip it and you're okay with that?
Like before, I wouldn't feel okay, but now I feel like it's more important to do what I feel and what I feel good than go to the tournament and not be myself. Like, let's say I don't want to come to, let's say, Berlin, but I'm forcing myself. What are the chances I'm gonna do well in the tournament if I'm forced?
And probably not
Right?
only in Berlin, but the week after
Yeah.
is also gonna be
Yeah.
very complicated, right?
So, especially with the calendar this year, like I'm not gonna force myself to do something I don't want.
Is it something you're trying to be more conscious about?
After last year, yes. No, because after 11, I was like traveling with the same
was
clothes.
quite successful for you.
No, it was. Okay, I was a little bit lucky, but I still finished top 10, which was amazing. Like I had very like an up and down season, but I cannot complain, obviously. But at the same time, like it wasn't healthy because I feel like even though I had 3 weeks off at the off season, I never felt recovered because I feel like it consumed so much energy. And yeah, I feel like it's so important taking breaks throughout the year. Like that's a thing. I don't know how you see it, but I think it's
I mean, I agree. I think it's very important, and more now, especially with those 2 weeks tournaments that
this is
are
crazy.
time consuming and also mentally consuming
Yeah.
because it's either you practice or you play, but you don't have really an option. So it's important to make some smart choice, and they can be very different from one person to another. But I completely agree.
No, for sure. You can always feel like I should have gone to tournament. Maybe I should have, but maybe I wanted the points. But at the end of the day, if you don't feel like going, you won't get the points.
Especially in a sport like tennis, where like there's so much in the head that if you're not motivated to fight, it's gonna be tricky to win big matches.
No, of course.
A less pleasant question. So you have been in top 10 for many, many years, and sometimes people have maybe been criticizing you because you won. Only to do
No, I don't mind if you say it like this.
Again, most people who never won.
No, I don't care. It's a valid question.
How do you go with it? Is it extra motivation for you? Is it something that's really important for you? Or
Listen, I'm not gonna hide from the problem that I struggled for 4 years to win a tournament. Like up until Guadalajara last year, which I think it was, as my boyfriend said, written in the stars to happen. I was struggling. Like I couldn't control my anxiety and my stress when the moment came. Like even that match, even though it was my biggest title, I don't want to remember it because it gives me very stressful feelings. But I think after that, I was just ready to face it again. Like I felt like I got over it. Even though this year against Iga in Indian Wells, I didn't lose because I was scared of the final. She was just better and I wasn't good enough. So yeah, if I can finish my career by, like if I was to quit tomorrow, I'm good with my career. I'm happy with myself. Like I don't care if people say that I've only won 2 tournaments. They've won none. Like so
I mean,
In one way, you can see that she only won 2, and in another way, you can see how crazy good someone must be that she only won
yes.
2 tournaments in her career and she managed to be in top 10 for so long. That speaks not so good about how consistent someone is. So it's like,
I mean, people can say whatever they want at the end of the day. Like I'm at the point where I feel like, you know what, I don't care what they say. Like seriously, it took so much time for me to get to that point, but I just
how did you work on this? Like being able to avoid all the noise, all the social media hate. Have you worked with it like actively on it? Or
yeah, I've worked with like different psychologists since 2018. So for me, it was and it is a very important part of my life, not as a tennis player. Like if I also worked for off-court things, like just to improve as a person. And yeah, just at some point I was like, okay, it doesn't even affect me anymore what I read on Twitter. And like, okay, there were some moments I remember where I would erase Twitter or Instagram just to not see it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, it's stupid because like I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to say that I only went to tournaments, it's okay. Like I
Sure.
couldn't care less right now.
And can you describe what you were feeling in those moments, or like it was in those finals or end of
Yeah.
tournament?
Like, for example, I was in St. Petersburg. I was playing against Annette,
Okay.
and I was serving for the match. I think it was 5-3 or something in the third set. I just could see the finish line, but I just got, I would get very stressed and very anxious and maybe overhit the ball or push the ball and not playing my game. And of course, the other one, when they're losing, they're of course going to play more relaxed. They're going to play good. And then it started getting into my head. And every time I would play a final, I would be paralyzed. Like I would be, okay, I would just lose the match within myself before even stepping on the court, just because I created that story that, oh, I've been losing too many finals. Oh my God, it's very tough. How am I going to do it? And I think that just working on it, I got over it. And that's where I am today, which it's a very important feeling, I believe.
Yeah, emotions can play the bit
Yeah.
sometimes, but probably also helped you to win a lot of matches around. So
No, for sure. I mean, you know really well how it is that we all have our hurdles and every player is different. Like, I don't know what you were struggling with, but it's for sure different to what I feel. Or, I don't know, Sabalenka, she probably had something else, or Rybakina, something else. Like, everyone's so different. And if they want to judge me for what I struggled with, they can go ahead and judge me. Like, I don't care. I love my life and I love who I am.
All this hate is always coming from people who never achieved,
Yeah.
as much as the other person did, So it's crazy how they feel entitled to put an opinion on someone not as successful as you or Carol. Or,
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, what you have achieved, like you, because I remember, because I lost to you in, was it Wuhan? Yeah, winning Wuhan and then winning Beijing and getting to 4 and then dropping in the ranking and then got back to 4, winning the finals, and you were playing so good. Like it's incredible. Like whoever judges you for this, I'm sorry, but they've done nothing in their life to judge you. Like it's very, very. I've never experienced that, falling in the rankings and coming back, but I think it's people that do that. I think it's the toughest thing ever, because we know how tough it is to get in the top 5, especially nowadays with all those very good players.
yeah, the lately the ranking in top 20, top
Yeah.
10, top 5 is getting harder and harder, stronger, stronger. Like top 100 a couple years ago was not as solid.
Yeah.
the level keeps rising, no?
Yeah, it keeps rising a lot for sure.
No, and obviously you had very good players in the past, but I feel like now everyone talks about the women's depth, and
Yes.
I mean, look at the tournaments here. It's just, it's crazy. Yeah, it's tough.
Earlier in the year, you made the decision to change your
Yeah.
coach after I think it was 6 years.
Almost
no?
6 years, yes.
Which is so unusual in tennis to have such a
Yes.
good coaching
Yeah.
relationship. How do you take such a big decision, or how did you know it was the right approach?
Listen, I love Tom, and Tom will always be like a brother to me. And
He looks like a great guy.
no, he's amazing. And he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And it's very tough to find good people on the tour. And I'm not talking about the coaching skills. I'm talking about
human
just
being.
as a human being.
Yeah.
Like, I've had an amazing time with him. And
And you're similar.
we're same age, so 95.
Which
yeah.
is very rare.
Yeah, because we started back in 2018 in July when we were 23 years old. Obviously, he didn't start as a main coach because I was with Thomas Johansson then. He started as a second coach, and then I think 9 months later, he became a main coach. So 24 years old.
Yeah, that speaks good about the guy.
No, I mean, and he had the maturity. He always wanted to learn and wanted to improve, which was what I really appreciated all those years. And I just felt like we couldn't help each other anymore. That's what, when we sat down in Doha this year, I said that I feel like we cannot help each other anymore. And I feel like he could also see it, but we were both so close, like friends, which we couldn't take the decision. And I just feel like it was very nice of him because he really wanted and wants the best for me. And
Which
yeah,
is pretty
he's
rare to find
very
as well,
rare.
people know who.
Yeah, no, it's I'm very grateful and very thankful for everything he's done and everything we achieved together, because I got to my best ranking with him. I've done all my best results with him, and
Sometimes you just need to change
exactly,
to find new motivations, also new goals, and it doesn't speak about the other person's value. It's just
no,
change is
it's
good.
nothing personal, and I believe and I think that he knows it. Like I value him as a person so much that that's never gonna change. And I mean, that's what we said, that you never know in the future. I just felt like we both needed a break from each other. We were spending way too much time, and maybe that's also something that we can learn from, both of us, for our future.
And to start with a new coach, you did very good results right after. I paid the price.
Yes, in Indian Wells.
I paid the price. But after you did finals, so
Yeah,
don't forget.
yeah.
I felt good after.
Yes. But I mean, you beat Osaka the tournament after, so you were
and Coco.
and Coco. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So
With Collins, who was unbeatable.
yes, unbeatable. Like she was like, yeah. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, because from your experience, whenever you change coach, obviously David, he's great and he's amazing, and it was very different to what I was used to. He's so laid back, so relaxed, in a very good way, of course. And because I'm very Mediterranean, very, I say it in the best way possible, like I get nervous, I get stressed. Having him outside the court just made me feel very relaxed. So I think that's why I played also very, very good.
Expectations maybe as well. No, it's a first week with a first tournament with a new
God,
coach.
that first match with him, I played Schneider. I couldn't put a forehand on the court. Like I couldn't. It would be like either bottom of the net and I was something like 6-1 down, and I don't know how I won this match, and then I made final. No, but it was the worst set I've ever played in my career. It was like I forgot to play tennis. And then I think you of course go through a honeymoon phase where everything is just, you play good and everything it works out perfectly.
So maybe we should change like coach for Grand Slams. Like
I think then it gets too complicated. But it's a different approach, which I really like. And as we mentioned before, being a very good human being is also a very important thing when you change coach and when you make that pick. So he's super nice. He's so funny. So it's very nice to be around him.
Yeah, I mean, of course, after so many years with someone maybe on some point he probably told you the same thing as Tom.
Probably.
But with different voice. And
yes, the same thing as you were saying with your mom, not just by hearing it from someone else.
Of course.
It's all the trickiness, let's say, of coaching. And sometimes my dad was telling me something and I was saying no, and someone else was saying it, and I was doing it.
Yeah. No, it is like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I come from Greece, a country with great Olympic tradition. A month from now, Olympics in Paris. Is it a big goal for you?
Listen, I think every Greek athlete wants to compete in the Olympics and has that weight on their shoulders that we're carrying the flag, and we're very proud. And personally, I'm very proud when I got to represent Greece in Tokyo, and I'm given the second chance to represent Greece again. So for me, it's of course a goal. It's something that I'm very looking forward, because it's nice experience, first of all, like being in the village with all the athletes. You can learn a lot. You can, I don't know, experience different things than just being on the tour with the same people again and again. And we know that very random things happen in the Olympics. Like people that maybe never won a tournament can win a medal, and it always has to do with how much you want it. And
so you have more chances, because at the end in tennis, in the tour usually you end up second. No, you're a loser. In the Olympics you end up third.
And even though I feel like the two players that lose in the semi-final, in my opinion, should both get a medal. They shouldn't be playing.
In tennis it's tough.
Yes, because it's very, very tough, and I feel like they don't get rewarded. I think that obviously I won't be going to the opening ceremony because it's the day before we start playing. But I believe that the feeling of walking in first in the stadium or in the river this time, Greece is always the first one to walk before even the host of the country, because
Host is last one.
host is last one. So okay, so Greece is the first one because of the Olympics started in Greece. So I think that's a very special feeling, and that's something that makes it even more unique for us. But it would be a dream to just fly back home with a medal. And I think the importance of the medal in Greece is quite.
If you had to choose between a slam and an
come on.
Olympic medal, it's out of curiosity.
Yeah.
You said Olympics, no? Especially because it's in Paris.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I would also pick the Olympics.
Okay.
Just because it happens once every 4 years and because of the country that I come from.
Yeah.
But I feel as a tennis player, I think that, like, I pick the Olympics, just not for people to misunderstand me. But I feel like Grand Slam for tennis players and tennis fans and everyone has more recognition than that's my feeling. But, coming from Greece, obviously, I would pick that.
Sometimes it looks like Olympics, it's something more recognized outside of your sport.
Yes,
like
of
in
course.
general.
Sure.
But Grand Slam, it's very recognized in tennis world. But
Yeah.
Wimbledon is same as Olympics, kind of. It resonates in everyone's mind.
Yeah. But do you believe that if you were to win a Grand Slam and you walk into the next tournament, you think people, or let's put it this way, if you were to win a Grand Slam, would you have the same respect from other people that in the tennis world as if you were to win a medal walking into the next tournament?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Like, I think that the Grand Slam has,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, it's...
Because probably, I mean, also in slam, there is a lot of surprise in the one who won medal, but in Olympics, even more.
Yeah. I mean, the previous years, that's how it was. But who won gold in Tokyo? Bencic, yeah. And
Bencic.
Vondrousova?
Vondrousova, Svitolina.
Yeah. I lost to Svitolina in the third round, I think. Okay. But, like, I played first round and it Kontaveit. Like, it was
The draw is crazy
Yeah.
strong. The draw is crazy strong.
And then I played Nina Stojanovic. So it's very, like, I don't know.
Yeah. You
You
can have a tough lag and be out in a complicated first round match.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think tennis players would choose a Grand Slam, but as I said, coming from Greece,
Same for me, for friends, like Olympic also, it's very important, obviously.
especially now in France.
Especially now.
Yeah.
I've been here for 10 years, so I'm looking forward.
Yeah. It's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be nice, of course. In Roland Garros, I think it can be very special.
And we know everything there.
But I heard from the one who went to Wimbledon Olympics.
Yeah.
It's not at all the same vibes, organization.
No, but what? The restaurant is not the same. The locker rooms are the same for sure, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess it's the same locker rooms, but I mean restaurants. It's but
No,
yeah,
I mean, the gym probably is gonna be the same, like
same places.
unless they decide to change everything, which I don't think so.
I don't think it's a couple months apart, especially. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
What is your best memory so far from tennis?
Well, my favorite memories are when I was young and I was practicing with my grandfather in the summer. Because what happens, like, I would finish school and I would spend the summer with my grandfather and grandmother. So,
Nice.
like, they I mean, my grandfather passed away 2 years ago, but my grandmother lives in the center of Athens, like 10 minutes walk from where we practiced. So I would just practice there and then sleep at their house. So those are my favorite memories.
Nice.
But from my tennis career, like my professional career, I would say that match I won against, I was gonna say Pegula, Pliskova in the US Open to make the semis. Like, I played the perfect match, tennis-wise, like serving lights out, like barely missing a ball, packed night session on Arthur Ashe, and I think that is my favorite memory by far.
Nice.
Even more than winning Guadalajara. Like, winning Guadalajara was
more than a relief, maybe? Or...
Yeah, it was like, I went up to Tom and I was like, I'm so glad this is over.
Now I can rest.
Yes. Then I was at the restaurant like this. I never drink. Like, I would have maybe one drink a year. So I had a shot of tequila and
We're flying.
I was just I'm so happy. I didn't sleep that night at all. Like my whoop had like a 1% recovery. It was just, it was just, and the next day I was in a flight to Tokyo, but that was, yeah.
Intense.
Yeah, it's very intense. Like you cannot, the fact that you cannot celebrate
Yeah,
some
that's
some
tough.
moments is tough. Like I couldn't fly home,
It
celebrate
could also
with
be your
family.
goal to say, I don't play Tokyo and I take 1 week off now.
Yeah,
It's
but you know,
complicated.
chasing WTA
I was
finals.
chasing WTA
True,
finals
fair enough.
and
So you got there
couldn't
before.
fly home and then go to Asia.
Yeah,
Like
true.
No.
True.
No, it's assured.
it's crazy.
No,
Like
it's true. It was not the right moment to take a break.
No. But you know, I've never experienced. Okay, I've only won 2 tournaments. But I've never experienced the fact that you win a tournament, you take the flight, you go home, you greet your family,
Yeah.
you have a nice dinner, you're just beyond the moon and just
I
so
should have
happy.
done my research, but what is the other one you won? Where was it?
Rabat.
Rabat.
I did
2019.
So before Roland Garros. Was it before Roland
No, it
Garros
was
and
before Madrid then.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
then
you cannot go.
no, no, I haven't.
You have to choose wisely.
Yeah, exactly. Or I have to win the tournament that is right before going home.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll see maybe in the future.
I mean,
Yeah.
For sure.
the last one of the year, I wish you can.
I mean, you did it, but did you stay in the US for a little bit or you flew home?
No, of course not. I had Billie Jean King Cup.
Okay. Next question. I'm not gonna comment in that. She was playing so good. Impossible to beat her. Like I was like, there's nothing I can do.
You played her in the finals?
semis,
In the
in
semis
semis
of
of the finals.
Huh.
Like I was playing so good that turn. Like I didn't lose a set. Like I beat Pegula, Jabeur, Sabalenka, and then I get to the semis.
What was the
and
score?
So it's 2 or 3 and 2, like comfortable, but not like 3 all and like something.
You
Yeah,
have-
the
you have
chance.
this
I know,
chance.
it
Early
was-
break every time, I think.
I probably. I mean, returning 2 meters inside the baseline, I was like, oh, he wasn't even a fast court. Imagine. No,
You
No,
were
you had
trying
your-
to slice a bit more on your
I
back.
was.
Yes.
I was like, I was trying to do different things, but trying to,
But you had your revenge a couple of times after that. So
Yes, but I mean, winning that
one
tournament
hurt,
is
yeah.
no, it didn't. It didn't hurt because I had no chance.
Mhm.
It wasn't like
But at the same time, you were close.
no, I wasn't close. Let's
Not
do
on the match,
close
but
because
on the later stage of the
okay,
tournament.
yes, but
Yeah.
you feel like you had a chance if you had a chance in the match.
sure.
Like if you cannot beat that the other one was playing so good, then it's just
Yeah, that makes sense.
no. I think I was happy that the season was over. That's the point.
So there's a feeling for everyone
Yeah.
most of the time.
I think we're getting closer to the end.
Okay.
What advice would you give to yourself if you were like 15 again? Or the younger generations coming up now?
I think what I mentioned before, just being able to enjoy more the journey and being more wise in a younger age to listen to what people advise me. Like my mom always said, enjoy the journey because it's not gonna last long. Like the years go by like this.
Yeah.
And that's what she tells me even today, that if you can enjoy being on the tour and playing all those matches and being in all those tournaments, it's gonna make your life a lot more enjoyable and nicer. And I feel like even today, I'm probably don't do it enough, but I think I'm getting there.
How do you do it? How do you find like ways to enjoy it more?
I just try and look at the positives. Like we're traveling in beautiful places. We're playing in the biggest stages of tennis. I believe tennis is the biggest female sport in the world.
By far.
So being one of the best players in the world means probably being one of the best athletes also. So that's already a very big positive. And just doing what you love. Like, and again, it's not going to last forever. So
Yeah. Enjoy what
So I think that those little things. And plus doing things that can make you happy in the tournament. Like, I don't know, everyone's different. Maybe someone wants to go to a museum every day. Or for me, what makes me happy is go to a nice restaurant or go to a nice coffee place or just walk around, see the city. Because when I was young, I wouldn't like do any touristic things.
Yeah. Now you a bit more.
Yes,
to find some balance in life. And it's compatible with still working very hard.
of course. I mean, let's be honest. When we're in tournaments, we have a lot of time off.
Yes,
No,
we can have. Yeah.
like maybe
You can stay in the sofa tent waiting for
Yes.
your match, or you can unplug from the tournament and go
Yes.
enjoy a nice coffee or a
Yes.
nice dinner.
or go see something like a monument or
I agree.
anything like
And being happy probably helps you perform, right?
yeah, of
The more
course.
relaxed you are, the easier it is to put that nice
No.
winner inside.
100%. I think since I started doing more stuff off the
Mhm.
court in tournaments, it's been a lot better in my career.
It makes it worth it. Because probably winning a slam, if you were miserable out there, at
Yeah.
the end, with some perspective, you would regret it badly.
But you know what? A lot of people ask me, do you see the places you go? And at some point, they started asking me, and I was embarrassed to say, no, I don't see anything. So then I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Sure, it's a good advice to the youngsters. Enjoy the ride. And
Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the
work
off-court
hard,
things.
but
Yes.
also, yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying that you have to take unlimited time off and don't
No,
practice,
No,
but
of course not.
You can still work 10 hours per day. You can sleep 8 more, and then you still have like 6 hours extra to enjoy life.
yeah, but when you're in a tournament, you will never practice more than 2 hours on the court.
Let's say it's 2 of training, 2 of physio, 2 of gym if you want.
Nobody does that much.
Even if we put the
Yeah,
worst
yeah.
case scenario of someone who really like needs to invest 8-10 hours.
Yeah, you still
You
have
still
time.
8.
No, for sure. So those are my advices to either my younger self or someone young.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And who would you like to hear next on the podcast? A man and a woman.
Okay, so I have to go with Daria Kasatkina because
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
no,
She put you some pressure
this is put me some pressure, but also she's a very interesting person.
Yes.
I think it's
Yes.
gonna be fun.
She's on the list.
Yes.
She's
You know what? I would like to have Carlos Alcaraz here.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess she doesn't know that now you are the one who needs to help us and bring him. That's
Me?
the kind of the hidden
I
rule
don't
here.
even. I don't even okay, I know him,
Next time in the corridor, you need to.
but it's not like I don't have his phone.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, but I feel like
Kidding.
not because of what he has achieved, but it's gonna be interesting just
For sure.
to see his journey.
I think like what we were talking about, finding a good balance
Yeah.
between tennis and keep building your personality,
And having fun.
is the first one who is like really like embracing all. Like he's going on court, he's playing some amazing shot, and he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
And see looks like very genuine reaction.
Yes.
And it's very nice to see it in his own style, but you can see that he's having a good time out there.
No, for sure. And I'm sure he had his tough moments, but you know, he's trying to have that smile on his face, which
Yeah.
makes him very unique and very special.
Yeah.
It was
Thank you,
very-
Maria.
No,
Thank
thanks
you
to
so
you
much.
It was
guys.
fun.
No, it was
Yeah,
amazing.
love the conversation.
Yes, it was very cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with Maria. I really had a good time and it was a pleasure to listen to her story, to her career. And what did you think, Borja?
It was a great conversation. I really loved the part where she emphasized that it was very important for her to not only develop herself as a tennis player, but as a human being. And I hope that the young players coming up can learn from her and her experience as a tennis player. And yeah, stay tuned. New episodes coming soon. Some very good ones. I'm very excited about it. And in the meantime, if you can take the time to leave a 5-star review and follow the podcast in Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you're following us, it would mean the world to us. And see you very soon.
See you soon.